I'm Andrea Stern of Stern Rep and Ask Stern Rep. If you don't know about that, go on Instagram right now. So today I'm going to share how my Instagram became our most effective marketing tool to bring in jobs. If I can do it, anyone can do it. True, Rainey? True?
It's true.
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 Exactly. So my experience with Instagram has not been an easy one. I honestly avoided it as much as possible. I have to say it made no sense to me at the time, and it felt disturbingly annoying. And then I met Rainey. Rainey Vespi is a Stern Rep and Ask Stern Rep creative director of brand development and my social media creator, my social media coach, and my guru. It's true, Rainey.
I can spend hours talking about social media. I have no idea how that happened, but it's become my world. Yes.
Well, I know how it happens because you know what you're talking about.
Right.
So let's get into this, because if you are a photographer for hire, Instagram could be and should be where your business comes alive. Right, Rainey?
Yes, absolutely.
Rainey agrees with me on everything. This is good.
Yeah.
That's how I like it. No. The first impression of Instagram is about capturing our clients' attention very, very quickly. When I first check out a photographer's Instagram, I check the date of the last feed, the last post, to see if it's recent or how long it's been and how much time between posts. So that's what I do. That's my first impression. Rainey, what do you look for when you first look at someone's Instagram?
Yeah, I mean, I agree. I absolutely agree with that, because first of all, nobody wants an old Instagram. We want to see that there's something happening, that you're alive and that you're working and that you're inspired. So what does your profile picture look like? Do you have the bio filled out? Do you have engaging highlights? Do I want to tap on those? Do I want to watch your highlights?
Well, let's talk about the basic groundwork for photographers to grab the attention of clients very fast. How do they stay on top of their scheduling to make the most of Instagram?
Well, I mean, the easiest thing is to set a day out of your month. You don't have to do it every day. Just sit down, find the work that you want to be showing on your Instagram, and make a grid for yourself. Put it all together so you can visually see how it's going to look at first glance, because it's always going to be first glance for a client. They're going to look once, for a second, and if they're not interested, then they're going to get right off. They're not going to follow you back.
On our Stern Rep account, I see how you have this method to not post all of the images at once. What is the consistency schedule you have set up for us? How do you manage that?
I mean, we post once a day, right? It is different than if it was a single photographer. We're very lucky that we have a plethora of work that can get us through the year.
You prep ahead of time, you schedule it out, you take a month and you get it out of the way. Because I know you send it to me, you're like, what do you think? And I always go, I've never said, no, I don't like it. But you do it way in advance. And you seem to have a system that you spread it out. Like, well, for us, it's Caleb one day, Jeff another day, Paul. Right. And also you seem to do, if we're showing a reel and you're showing it on the story, you don't do the next day the same thing. Like you mix it up.
Yeah, it's all about mixing it up, because you want people to be interested. And if you're always doing the same exact thing every day, if you're posting the exact same picture every day, if you're showing me reels that look exactly the same every day, nobody's going to be interested in this constantly. And it's the push, right? It's got to be a push and pull, like you can't always be pushing the sales aspect. And that's when you have to become involved as a person in the Instagram.
Ooh, right? We'll get to that. I have a quote from you. You said, what we need to do is brand me as a person, and not just you as a photographer.
Right. It's hard. It's so hard, especially for people like photographers who like to be behind the camera. Like, I get it. I'm nervous right now on this camera, what we're doing. Right. So I feel you guys.
But somehow you got me to, I think you helped point out, like you coached me into what was interesting about my life. You gave me ideas.
Right.
So I saw it through your eyes. Instead, I kind of stepped out of my own self a little to see what I could,
Absolutely.
what I could offer.
Yeah, and I think that that's what we have to do. We have to step out of ourselves, and because we don't think we're interesting. So it might take, I think, if you want to do it on your own, I would start making lists, understand, say, who am I? What are things that define me as a person that could be cool to share on social media? Because how many messages do you like, how much engagement do we get when we're showing something that's a little bit more, even if it's like Andrea loves baseball, let's show that you're watching a baseball game, and it's not about work, but you're going to find clients that are going to be like, I'm watching the game too. And this is when it becomes this personal connection that you're now establishing with the clients.
On stories.
Right.
Mm.
That's what you want to think of in the stories. That's how we utilize the stories, at least, right? We make it so that it's full of all of it, of who you are as a person. And then also you can throw in your work in there sometimes too.
I find it the most valuable thing. I want this from our photographers all the time.
Right.
If I can show who they are, it's like I'm selling without selling, because I'm being relatable and authentic. I'm showing who they are.
100%.
Like the best sales tool. Yeah.
Exactly. I mean, we have like Caleb Cool, who we rep.
Mhm.
We were like, we saw he was kind of working on his shed to turning it into an office.
Yeah.
And we're like, show this, keep showing, especially it's connecting back to the work because it's his office. So it's like, it's not revealing too much, but I mean, he built it with his hands. We're like, show this.
And it's interesting. Yeah. And that was one of his highest viewed from clients on a daily basis. They were like, what's next? What's
my political views? That's understandable. You don't have to do that. But if you want to share about baseball or your cats or whatever it is that your plants, I have all my plants. I got my little children in here. Show these things. You're going to find that people like it. And I think Mary Dale said this in one of the webinars you guys did about, or maybe somebody quoted her, and she said that it could be the tiebreaker, right? Between you getting the job and you not getting the job. I keep thinking about that. We want them to know us because we're fun and cool. And if you're going to be on set for 12 days, they want the coolest person on set with them.
That's so interesting, because even just here, and you said cats and baseball, I felt my whole presence kind of come to life. I did. And that's how we can show ourselves, by just really authentically sharing the things that make me feel like that.
Yeah, absolutely. And it doesn't have to be every day. And again, we are not trying to make you an influencer. We are not trying to get you to 150,000 followers. I mean, that would be very nice. Okay.
Be very nice.
But that's not the point here. We just want you to be active and utilizing this free place to consistently market yourself, because you can't send an email promo every day. I mean, for sure, every day. You can't do this.
No. So if you could give a photographer one major tip to help themselves run their Instagram consistently, what would you say?
I mean, it's this. I'd say it's the scheduling, definitely, and just give yourself a system. Have really good archives, like look at another thing to do is like look at what holidays are coming up. It could be a big holiday like a Thanksgiving. You don't have to be stuck only using something brand new all the time. Find a reason on Instagram to show it. That's the perfect place to be able to continually show things
on the stories
and the feed too. I think you can come in there and like, if you have really like seasonal work, like something that was amazing, looks super fall, like it looks like autumn, and you have that from 3 years ago, you could show one of those on your feed again. You know, people
Right.
like those, to see those vibes like in the season.
Yeah, I'd say if it relates to your work and it did really well, you see on the insights, it was hit large. You could even make it a story how well it did and show that
Yeah,
again. I love
yeah,
doing that. Or we make promos out of that kind of stuff.
exactly. There's no rules. There's just no rules. Have fun with it. You're a creative person, you know, you're a creative visual person. I mean, Instagram could kind of be your thing. You could kind of really be awesome at it, I bet.
Because it's being that person.
It's an extension of the
Yeah.
creativity that you already have. It's already, you use it for your work, you know?